Hello guys, welcome to Sim UK. I am playing Sailaway the Sailing Simulator once again. This is a truly fantastic title and I'm absolutely in love with it. Let's be totally honest. I made a mistake in the last video, guys. I mentioned that you can control your heading and your trim via a mobile device whilst you're not in game. That's actually not true. I read that somewhere and I was a bit overexcited, I think, when I was making the review and kind of included it as a feature. It's not yet, but I do believe it's coming. Now, that doesn't really detract anything from the game. It's still super fantastic. And today I'm actually going to do a small sail around. Now I was trying to think, where is a good place to take the boat, and if I had my own boat, where would I go? And obviously it's the British Virgin Islands. But then, in a sort of last minute decision, I've decided I'm actually going to sail around Antigua and Barbuda because I like the sound of that more. I've never been there, don't know anything about the place. Now, this game is in early access, but what I'm going to try and do is just give you a sense of what the game is like to play. Basically, and now I sailed a bit when I was 50. Let's get the boat on. Let's get the boat on so you can see. Right, we're going to swap over to the 38-foot ocean cruiser because that's the mini transat, which I haven't actually taken the mini transat out yet, so I know nothing about that ship at all. Crikey, we're a bit close to shore. Oh, lost the game there a moment, sorry about that. Bit close to shore here, guys. Luckily I sort of spawned and started sailing in this direction. Let me just drop anchor a second. There we go. Now you'll see when you drop anchor that the boat automatically turns into the wind and all the sails drop, which kind of makes sense. Sorry about that, frog in my throat. Which makes sense because I don't know how easy it is to put a sail up if unless you're facing into the wind, but that's certainly the way you're meant to do it. That's the chosen way to do it, so that's sensible, I guess. Let's come over here to the map. I'll expand this out, and now with the mouse scroller I'm zooming out, and oh, in the review I mentioned that I sailed across the Dover Strait, and that's exactly what I did. Dover's here and Calais here. That was really good fun. I should have recorded it. I really should. It took me about 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. And I should have recorded it. There was a great moment where it was sort of overcast and a bit miserable. It wasn't raining or anything. And then all of a sudden, the clouds just dissipated and the sun came out, and there was the transformation. I mean, it was so good, so well done. It was almost like I was really there and really experiencing it. Superlative, absolutely superlative. Now, okay, it's over here somewhere. Maybe if I find there we are. Barbuda Island. Actually, no, it's just below Barbuda Island, isn't it? Oh, there it is. Antigua and Barbuda. There we go. These two. So what I'm going to try and do is a kind of a figure of 8 round here. Now, this map also serves as your charts. I can't read charts for love nor money. And also, I have no idea how much ground space I require to sail my ship. Right, so where should we start? Let's start at the tip of Barbuda. Now you see a left click and this little aircraft pops up. Interesting that they chose an aircraft for that icon, I have to say. But if we right click, click there, sorry, and then click on teleport, we have now arrived right near Barbuda Island. If I spin round, we're actually quite a bit further out than I realised. Where the heck is it? Is it over there? Don't know. The swell here is actually quite big today. I was expecting something a lot more gentle. And let's look at the wind situation. That's not too bad. We can work with that. That's okay. Right, maybe I need to get a bit closer to Barbuda Island. It looks pretty deep here. I am so going to run aground, aren't I? I am so completely going to run aground. Now, I should be able to see Barbuda. Is that it over there? I think that's it over there. Wow, we're actually quite far out. It gets pretty shallow over here, so I'm going to have to be careful. 34. Let's try that. There we go. I can't really get much closer. I think if I get any closer than that, I'm definitely going to start running aground. So there is Barbuda Island. Now, this game's in early access, and predominantly the work has been done on the rigging, on the sails, on the wind, on the environment. All of this is dynamic. All of the sky is real. What is that? Is that a bird? What the heck? That's freaking me out. I've no idea what that is. I do not know what that is. Is it a star or something? No idea. Anyway, so yeah, the details on the island are not superlative, I guess. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with that long term. But to be honest with you, as long as the ports are in place and they look respectable, then this game's a winner for me. Absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. Right, now, as I say, my chart reading is a bit of a joke, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the best route I can take out of here is going north, at least north till we hit this line here, and then, oh no, we're going to have to come way past that. We're going to have to come all the way out here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Right, now we're in the cockpit at the moment, and the way that this is set up allows us to grab any of the ropes that we want. I'll be honest with you, I can't remember all of them are. Over here, what? These are the reefs. Why can't I click on these? Is it because the halyard isn't up? Or halyard is not up? I think it is. Right, so I'm using either the scroller on the mouse or the W and S keys. You can see that's me letting the rope out, that's me pulling the rope in. And unfortunately, one thing you can't do is look at the sail as you're raising it. You can't do that, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully that will change. The reason why it's in early access, or part of the reason why it's in early access, is so that we can sort of get to grips with the game and give them some positive or constructive feedback. And I would say being able to look at the sail whilst you're raising it is probably a key thing. There you go, you can see she's up. Now these are little things here on the side of the sail. These are called telltales, I think. Telltales? Something like that. Telltales. So we're good. We are good. Now, there's going to be a lot going on, and I'm not the best of sailors, but I'm going to do my best here for you guys. I did quite a bit of sailing when I was like 14, 15, over the period of a year. Got really into it, and then I haven't stepped foot on a boat since then, except for, you know, ferries, crossings and stuff like that. So I remember quite a few of the basics, but other than that, I am pretty much a total beginner. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner, this is these are all users online at the moment, so you can chat to everybody. You can also limit that to VHF 20 miles and only chat with people nearby to you. But it's good. Everybody I've met online so far, really, really decent people, really nice. In fact, let's just say, hello, everybody. And then see if anybody says hi. They might not, because I don't recognise anybody's name there. Yeah, Paddy. Hi, Sim. Hey there, Sim, Balin. Yeah, there you go. See, nice guys, nice guys. Really, really nice guys. Ah, hi and bonjour there from Hard Corsair. Nice. Where's the wind today? Hey, okay, so they're back off onto their chat. Now, I'm not deliberately going to ignore these guys today, but I am trying to make a nice video for you, so I'm going to focus on that more than anything else. Now, I am currently running in expert mode, which is great because you have total freedom of what you want to do. Even in expert mode, you do get a bit of support and assistance. So if I go to trim here, you'll see that I've got an image of the sail, and the yellow lines indicate the perfect shape of the sail, and then you've got 3 points here. You've got top, middle and bottom, and it will give you recommendations on how to improve the trim for the main sail. You've also got, oh, this has changed a bit actually. There's been an update which I'll try and reference as much as possible. Oh no, it's back over here. This is where it normally is. I'm not sure why it was over there. That's different. Oh, and as I raise the, if I can remember the correct rope, let's just go over here a second. Yeah, that one. So if I raise the Genoa, which is the smaller front sail, you can see that going up there. Oh no, this is the Genoa. This is the big front sail. Oh, there's the Genoa. The Genoa's already up. Hang on a second, guys. Sorry about this. I'm going to get all my names confused. Yeah, so that's the big ass. Oh, because it's furled, you pillock. Right. Okay, hang on. Let me bring that down. The oh, I'm going to get over there in a second. Let me drop that back down. The Genoa is a massive front sail, which is perfect if you've got the wind behind you. Now you'd think technically having the wind behind you would give you ultimate speed, but transpires that isn't the case, which is why you have the Genoa to assist or further assist moving forward. Genoa furl, I've got the furl fully in. That's where the problem was here. So I'm just going to open her out. There you go. There's the front sail, the Genoa. And now I should be able to see. Oh, well, that's interesting. Interesting. So prior to the update, you were able to switch between the main sail and the Genoa, and it would give you technical advice on how best to set up your sail. But it appears, guys, that that's no longer working, which is no big problem. Right, so I am going to go back to the map and check out where the wind's coming from. That's good. So we're going to be turning left, so we're kind of going to be sailing into the wind here a bit. Have I raised the anchor? No, let's do that. There we go. Now you can see my heading is changing here as I'm turning, and these telltales are not in prime position, so we're just going to pull that in, he says, as that no longer works. Maybe it's because... oh, wrong way. I really wish I could look at it whilst I'm changing the... Okay, that's an improvement. Not quite there. And now, obviously, I can't see that. Now, we're banking over quite far here. So really I should probably use the reef and just pull that in a tad. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know whether to go reef 123 or 321. I don't know if there's any difference. But I'm going to try and go 123. That seems to make more sense to me. And I'll show you in a second that the mainsail has, the lower part has now reefed. So that should be giving us less lean because we've got less sail. Now previously I was able to control the mainsail just by using left and right. In fact, this has changed so much. I'm now very confused. That's the Genoa. Oh, there we go, the main sheet. There you go. Not sure what's going on there. That's kind of working, kind of not working. What speed are we cruising at? We are currently cruising at 3.5 nautical, 3.5 knots, I meant to say. So this could be a very, very slow journey. But once we round, once we round the tip of Barbuda and come down the side here, the eastern side, we should be fine. Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, we should be fine. We should be fine. So the main sheet I can control from here. I can let it out. Obviously, you see that the sail starts to flap because it's not getting any wind at all. We're going to struggle on this first tip. Oh, actually, it has some good. There we go. Now the tailtails are all sort of flapping straight on both sides. It's not perfect, clearly, but you can see that we're getting an okay amount of wind there, and our speed has gone up to 4 knots, so that's okay. That's okay for now. As I say, I'm no sailor, but I very much hope that by using this game, this simulator, I will improve, and certainly sailing is something that I'm interested in participating in. So one thing I hadn't done there, and that awful noise that you were hearing, was the Genoa sheet, excuse me, was not correctly trimmed. So I've just adjusted that, and now we're up to 4.7 knots, which is much, much better. What I might do is unreef the mainsail just a tad, because banking over too far is perfectly fine. If you watch regatta racing or what have you, you'll see that they are epically banked over to one side, so there's really is no issue there. It's more about comfort and sailing in style, I guess. So I'm quite happy to bank over a tad, and it's not going to be long before we take a hard right or hard turn to starboard, swing round. In fact, 21.19, I might be able to do it from there. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to tack here, because I'm going to be heading straight into the wind until we get up to around about this 22.30 area. So I'm going to tack it, which basically means turning the front end of the boat through the wind multiple times, and readjusting the trim. It's going to be necessary. Oh, I get it. So I sailed the entire Dover Strait, banked over to the right, which is why everything, you see the Genoa now is over on this side, and when you change sides, obviously the ropes change side. That's really genuinely obvious to me now, but for a moment there that was confusing the living daylights out of me. Let's just see if we can get some better wind on the Genoa. Not really. I'm not getting an awful lot here. It's going to be tricky for me to tack my way up. So what I might do, guys, is just speed this bit up for you so that you don't have to endure the long distance tack that I'm currently about to attempt. I'm going to tack back because I think I'm getting more speed here, and we've got a bit more depth to play with as well. The thing that I really enjoy about this so much is when I'm not speaking, and quite possibly you feel the same way. It's quite possible you feel the same way. But sailing is about freedom, relaxing, chilling out, enjoying yourself. It's also about the challenge, the dangers, the complexity, the skill. There's a lot. But for me, it's the serenity. I'm just going to shut up for a few seconds here and just let you listen to the beautiful sound of the water slightly bashing against the side of the boat, or gently bashing against the side of the boat, breaking over the waves and so on and so forth. It's just delightful. You can see there occasionally you get water splash in your face. Very nice indeed. Now I think I might be tacking too early here. I'm going to aim for this sort of 22, in between this 22 and 20 mark, in order to start coming down this eastern side here. It's going to be difficult to get around this flipping. It's going to be difficult. I was going to do a figure of 8, but I think that's going to take me an awfully long time, especially at this speed. I'm half tempted to turn around and go down the west side of the island. That would be a lot quicker. But then I've tacked all the way here, but I'm going to have to... See, this is where my lack of sailing expertise is going to be ever so evident. It's not very deep over here, so I have to be really careful. I think if we turn around, we've got much deeper water to play with, and we should theoretically be able to get up enough speed, and we'll be able to stay closer to the island. So I'm going to make that decision now, guys. I'm going to bank hard to port and completely go the opposite way. See our ship's just turning there. Now, as part of the update, you can now, if you see other people's ships on the map, which you can because multiplayer is active, oh, that was a bad bit of sailing there. That was a bad bit of sailing there. Turned my arse through the wind without really thinking about what I was doing then. I'll just try and get back into shape here. Now I'm going to have to adjust the trim quite considerably. Oh, crikey, Moses. Right, let's get the trim sorted. Should see our speed up here improving. Oh, I'm not getting a lot of wind here. Try adjusting the Genoa. Not good. I thought I'd be getting much better wind facing this way. I don't seem to be getting any even wind whatsoever. I mean, we're doing 4 knots, but that's not exactly mind-blowing, is it? I'd like to be doing nearly double this if I can. let's try easing out the traveller. Does that improve things at all? Nothing at all. Well, I'm not doing the best job of showing you how amazing this game is, am I? Let's bring up the Genoa again. Oh no, I can't bring up the Genoa. The Genoa. No. What the heck am I talking about? I want the Genoa. I can't bring up the Genoa because I'm not facing into the wind. I guess that's what the problem is here. I'm guessing. A lot of my sailing expertise requires me to do a lot of guessing. What I'm going to do, guys, the only sensible thing to do, the only fair thing to do here is drop my level from expert to advanced. Now, the only reason I went to expert, actually, that's another thing that needs to change. When you come into the menu, let me just show you the menu briefly. Ambient volume, boat volume, menu volume. That's your volume options. Video, full screen or not, resolution, you can show undetected resolutions, graphics quality is on a slider, camera effects, anti-aliasing, etc, etc, and special effects, mist, droplets on lens, etc. Now if you click out of here, click, you very, very easily could quit out the game. Luckily you do get caught by that, so I suppose it's not that big a deal. Let's go back to the boat, and now we'll watch the master do it. So he's releasing that first reef. That was a mistake. Okay. Oh, here we go. The mainsail is going out. That's what I tried. It didn't work for me. Oh, it needs to be fully open. No, okay. So I was questioning myself. I was changing the Genoa, sorry. That's a lot of water on my face. It's bringing the Genoa in. That's interesting. I wouldn't have done that. So what you're seeing there is automated, and if you look in the top here, it tells you what he's doing. See, I tried to open the Gen Maker. Oh, I see. I have to furl in the Genoa in order to open the Genoa. I'm going to work on these names, I promise, guys. Now we're flying 6.3 knots, but again, see, I thought I was doing something wrong there, or I wasn't getting any decent effect on the telltales here, but it appears that I was doing the right thing, almost. It's just my skills are not quite there. Okay, so let me just explain to you what's happened here. I've come out of expert mode and gone into advanced. Now advanced means you can do everything, but if you suddenly have an issue like I did just then, you can click on up here, I'm not sure what it's called, but it lets Sailaway optimize the sail trim, and that's what he's doing at the moment. And you can see now that these telltales are actually floating quite nicely, so he's done a very good job there, and I think I'd have struggled to get there as quick. So, but I've learnt something from that. I now know that when the wind is coming from my south, as it were, that opening up the Genoa is the wise move, the Genoa, but you have to furl the Genoa at the same time. Oh, my head hurts. My head hurts because there's so much information. I'm fine when I'm not speaking and trying to think about it at the same time, but I'm struggling to think and speak about it at the same time. So it's kind of good that I've got this automated thing on, because now it frees me up to discuss somewhat about the most recent update. So allow me to do that. Now I am reading it and then displaying it to you, so just enjoy watching the automated process of sailing, and you can see again, I'll leave the view over here so you can read what's happening, and then you kind of know what's going on. I'm going to keep an eye on the depth that we're sailing in. I think we're pretty much fine as long as we don't go too close to the coast. So there were some bugs fixed. I didn't realise there were any bugs, but there was an issue where individual boat voyages were not loading correctly. I didn't experience that, but obviously some people did. The wrong tooltips being shown on the options menu. I must say I didn't notice that, but I assume everybody was experiencing that. Issue with the VMG and VMC values being inverted. Now, I've read that before, and I'm not entirely sure what the VMC and the VMG values are, if I'm being totally honest with you. Maybe it's in GPS. Yeah, VMG and VMC. So these were the wrong way round. That's fine. I'm not 100% sure what that means. I mean, I could stab a guess at it and think maybe it's something to do with your speed, obviously, and how many nautical miles you've moved from a particular waypoint. That's kind of what I'm thinking that means. Missing some localization strings. Okay, that's not affected me. Sounds not being affected by the volume control. Didn't notice that. Some Steam users not appearing in the online players list. Okay. And there's this thing called the underwater bug. Now, if you've been following this game for a long time, you'll already know what that is. But for those of you that don't, it's a situation where your boat goes into a wave as opposed to over it and ends up underwater. It is a bug that has been addressed and fixed, apparently. It happened to somebody I was sailing with the other night, but I can't say that I've ever had the experience. But it sounds like nobody's going to have that experience now, which is a good thing. Let's just go back to the map a second. I think I can come in here a bit. I want to come well, that would probably be too close. Let's open this out a tad. Yeah, that was a mistake. I'm going to go back out here, where it's slightly deeper. It does say 7 there. It's like must be a reef or something. So I'm going to try and navigate close to this 15 along this stretch here and get onto the 26. Do you see where it's suddenly very, very shallow here? That will run me aground. I want to try and avoid that if I can. I thought this was going to be an incredibly quick trip, but it doesn't look like it's going to be. So maybe I'm just going to sail a little bit down here on Barbuda, try and get through these shallow reefs, or a few of them at least, just to give you an experience of the game, I guess. What new features have been added? Players info has been added to the boats on the map, so hovering over a boat will now show you the player name. Let's just test that out. The other night when I was playing, there were quite a few people online. We were all sort of chatting about features we'd like to see, and this was one of the things that came up, actually, that there were no names on ships that you can see on the map. Oh, there we go, millions of them. There's actually a guy right near us here doing this similar sort of sail, except he started down Antigua. So if I hover over that guy, that's Bruce Fallow. So that now works. That's cool. That's excellent, in fact. I do worry how this game is going to cope when there are like thousands, hundreds of thousands of people on at the same time. But it seems to be coping fine now, not having any FPS issues. A very, very solid 60 FPS all the way through here. Before, I'm not even going to try and say that. But he's here, or she's here. They are here. You know, I could really benefit from having a slightly faster zoom option. Let's see one more. Who should we go see? Who's this down here? Operator. Okay, cool. So you can see that is definitely working. I can confirm that, concur with that having been fixed or improved. It's an improvement, it's not a fix. It was never broken, it just wasn't implemented. How are we doing here? I'm getting used to looking at these charts. I was struggling a bit with them when I was crossing the channel, but they're actually really easy to use. It's just, I think I was having information overload previously. Right, what else is there? crew members should now be able to see race buoys on the map and in the world. So this is when you join somebody else's boat. I didn't experience this, but it appears that if you were a crew member on somebody else's boat, that you were not able to see those buoys, etc. So that seems to have been fixed, which is great. Improved the handling of multiple crew members using boat controls. I'm going to have to do that. In the next video, I'll try and hook up with somebody and get a bit of multi-crew going on, and then you'll be able to see. If possible, I'll find someone who actually knows how to sail a boat, and then they can just treat me like their dog's body, and I'll just do as they tell me, and we'll go from there. What else do we have here? The tutorial about planning voyages has been improved to make the feature clearer. That's good actually, because it isn't the most clear, so I might do that tutorial in a bit, and I'll put that up as a separate video, I think. What else do we have here? Muted channels now reappear when selecting them from the drop down box. So basically if you muted somebody, they'd disappear and you'd never see them again. That was the problem there. And they had an external dependency where land text features were being pulled. That's now working internally, and there was an issue where everything was turning white. But the detail on the land is not immense at present. But then obviously the focus is on the ocean and on the boats themselves. So that's pretty much it for version 0.9004. That's the list of updates that they've listed there. And I'm looking to find my way through this reef here. Where does it get shallow? Where is that shallow bit I was looking at? Oh, it's all the way over there. That's miles away. Okay, what I'm going to do then is just mess about a bit, I guess. I'm going to do a jibe. Now, a jibe is where the rear end of the boat turns through the wind direction. You can see up here, this is the direction that the wind is coming in. So if I turn the boat to the right, the arse end will turn this way and it will go through the wind. What will happen is that the jibe will swing across, the boom, sorry, will swing across, and that's called a jibe. It's probably the most dangerous thing about steering in sailing terms. So I'm going to turn right now. Jibe, 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 I think is the appropriate term. And then woof. Now you can see if you were standing on deck then, or this is known as the cockpit, this area, if you were standing there at the point of me jibing without me giving you prior warning, there's a very good chance you'd have one less head to worry about. And not only that, and hopefully this is something they're going to build in, if you jibe too hard, you can quite literally snap the mast off, destroy the sail, kill the boom, and then you're in big trouble. Because if all you've got to sail with is the Genoa and the, oh gosh, names, come on brain, the Genoa and the Genoa, they are too similar. They are too similar. If that's the only two sails you've got left to sail with, you're gonna have a hard time. Let's do it again. Jibe, jibe, jibe to the port side. Woof. Now I think the way I did it there is far too aggressive, and in time I should hope to be punished for such an aggressive jibe. But for now, just let the auto adjust these sheets and so on and so forth. So you can see by clicking on a rope you then get this percentage information coming up. Now I wonder if I can override him. If I override him, does he stay on? He does. So he just readjusts my adjustment, because obviously I'm an idiot and did it wrong. Which is great. So it's very much like having an experienced sailor with you. You've got total freedom. Total freedom. So let's say I'm going to let out the traveller. the main sheep traveller. Now that's going to have annoyed him inherently, because I've just I've just undone all his fantastic settings. Or does it turn it off? I think it turns it off. Okay. So then all you have to do is click it, and then he adjusts that mistake that I just made. You can see that the telltales are now nice and straight, flapping equally on both sides. Supposedly, you can't actually see the other side. I'm not sure if this is a reflection, not a reflection, sorry, a shadow of the telltale on this side, or whether it's you're seeing through the sail and it's the one on the other side. I think it's the one on the other side, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that just now. But yes, oh, we're actually picking up some speed here, 7.4 knots. We are absolutely flying. Outstanding. And you can see here that something I didn't mention in my first look review, which in hindsight was not the most detailed or expressive. It's not the best review I've done. I'm not very happy with that review, so apologies to you guys for such a poor first look review. Hopefully this is going to be a bit better. But if you watch in that review, you can see as I'm sailing across the Dover Strait that the ocean is very dark and kind of muddy looking, and that's what colour the ocean is there. But here you can see it's this gorgeous, beautiful blue, which is why anyone with a sailboat heads towards the Virgin Islands, because it's beautiful out here. So the colour of the ocean is actually represented in this game as well. There is so much. The skies, the clouds, the weather. It hasn't rained on me yet, so I don't know how that's going to look. But the stars, the moon, everything. What is that white dot up there? That is weird. I don't know what that is. It's freaking me out. Anyway, yeah, everything is dynamic in this title. It is such a good game already, and it's still got 6 months of early access development to go. So I'm now going to go and try and edit this into something that is worth watching. Hopefully I'm going to get something out of it, because this is so good. And in my next video I'm going to make a great deal of effort in putting together a multiplayer sailing experience. Now I don't think you're going to have human models in here, so you're not going to see a guy doing anything. It's kind of going to be like this, if I'm being honest. It's going to be like having this automated system running, I assume, but I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know for sure. But bum. Sorry, that was a terrible joke. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me, guys. I didn't realise this sail was going to take so long. I will do a full sail, which will probably take a few hours, but I have no qualms about doing this. I've been doing this particular video for about 45 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm running into some very shallow water there. So we're going to head towards that 13 where it's slightly deeper. We get the automated guy to do this. So where I've been sailing in expert mode, I don't have that option, so now I'm just using it at every opportunity, which is really lazy of me, and I apologise. Next time I'll be doing all the sailing myself, hopefully with a crew member, a compatriot to assist me, or teach me, possibly, quite possibly. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, guys. I think I've babbled enough, and this is such a good title. Honestly, if you're interested in sailing, then I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this title. I really don't. The experience is superb. If you're expecting super exciting high-speed stuff, then there are races. I keep trying to leave, but then thinking of things to say. There are races. So I mean, you can involve yourself in that. Let me just actually go to the menu a second. There you go, races. Now I haven't done any of these yet. When's the next one? Saturday at 2:20. So I've missed that one. Bum. When's this one? Mauritius. Now look, here's an interesting point. If you look at the colour of the sea here, the colour of the ocean, it's very different, and that's what colour the ocean is in the area that you're currently sailing. An hourly race for everyone to join and get some racing experience. You need to operate all of the lines yourself, and that starts at 2:20, but then the next one will be at 3:20, which is in about 15 minutes. Ooh, the temptation to join in. I might do that, you know, I might actually go and do that. In which case, I have to leave you guys for now, so take care of yourselves until next time. Goodbye for now.